starring June Lockhart, Hugh Riley, John Provost as Timmy, and, of course, Lassie.
Baseball player. Oh, Flip, are you really? Maybe with the New York Yankees. You know something, Willie? You better stick close to Lassie and me when we get to those woods over there. Why, Timmy? So we can protect you. There's nothing in the woods to be afraid of. Well, the other day, an Indian jumped out from behind a tree, and he had war paint on, and a tomahawk this long. Timmy. It sure was scary when he chased Lassie and me. If we hadn't run faster than that Indian, we would have both have been scalped. There ain't any Indians around here. He's just making up another Whopper, Willie. How do you know? Go on, Timmy. Well, we finally came to a cave, and Lassie and I hid in there till the Indian got on his pony and rode away. I don't believe a word of it. I believe it. You can carry my books, Timmy. It was the biggest, the blackest bull you ever saw. And there it was, charging at me. And I had to run for my life. What on earth happened? Well, I ran over to the fence with that bull right behind me. And I picked up a stick and I hit him right in the nose. Timmy, you didn't. And that stopped him all right. And I hit him again and drove him off. Timmy.
Timmy, may I see you for a minute?
Sure, Mom.
He'll be right back. Timmy, you know that story about the bull isn't true.
Well, it could have been. If it had happened.
But it didn't happen.
Hello,
it was a
Willie.
lie. Now, I don't want to have to correct you again. You go on outside. I want to talk to your father.
Yes, sir.
I just don't know what we're going to do about these fabrications he's been telling. The stories get wilder every day.
Oh, that.
Yesterday, he saw a giant.
How tall?
How can you talk like that? Don't you realize he's telling lies?
Not really lies, Ruth. The boy's imagination has awakened, that's all.
Imagination? Huh.
You know, he just tells these whoppers to attract attention to himself, especially if the audience happens to be a little girl.
Well, just the same, I don't like it.
You know, I remember when I was about Timmy's age, I told a little girl that I saw Sir Lancelot riding down the road on a white charger in full armor. All little boys imagine things, dear. It's just a phase in Timmy's life. He's growing up.
Well, I hope you're right.
I'm sure I am.
I still don't like it.
It sure looks scary. Looks just like a haunted house. Daddy said somebody moved into it 2 weeks ago. Probably a witch. There isn't any such thing as a witch. You would have thought so if you'd have been with me last night. What happened, Timmy? Well, the clock was about to strike 12, and I decided to get up and take a walk. Who ever heard of taking a walk at midnight? Go on, Timmy. Well, first I crawled through those weeds so nobody could see me. And there was a big puff of smoke out the door. And in the middle of it was a witch riding a broom. Oh, Timmy, don't tell any more. I'm scared. It's just one of Timmy's whoppers. He wouldn't have the nerve to go into a witch's apple orchard, even in the daylight. He would, too, wouldn't you, Timmy? Of course. I dare you, right now. Right now? And bring back an apple to prove it. Okay, I will. Timmy, maybe you better not. Oh, I'm not scared of an old witch. Come on, Lassie. Maybe I'll bring back 2 apples. I wish he wasn't going. There isn't any such thing as a witch. I think. You stay on guard while I get that apple.
Easy there, doggy. Don't you think green apples taste a lot better in a pie?
Yes, ma'am.
What's your name?
Timmy Martin.
Oh, yes. Your folks live just down the road, don't they?
Yes, ma'am.
You know, it just occurs to me. I baked a green apple pie this morning. What about coming in and sampling it, hmm?
I'd like that.
Come along, Timmy.
I'm going to tell his mother. Thank you, Mrs. Larson. This is the best apple pie I've ever tasted.
Well, I guess all boys like apple pie. I know my grandsons do.
Where do they live?
Oh, over 100 miles away. But I'm expecting them to come and see me this summer. What's your doggy's name?
Lassie.
Lassie.
Mrs. Martin! Mrs. Martin! He didn't come back. We think he's a prisoner.
Are you talking about Timmy?
Yes'm. We think the witch got him. Maybe she's tied him up. We locked him in a closet. Oh, Mrs. Martin, it's awful.
Now, wait a minute. One at a time. Where is Timmy?
That's what we're trying to tell you. He went to get an apple out of the witch's orchard, and he never came back.
Oh, now you both know there's no such thing as a witch. What orchard are you talking about?
The one right down the road, behind that old house.
Oh, you mean the old Larson place. Did Timmy tell you she was a witch?
Well, he said...
I can imagine.
He did get an apple.
That's not all he's going to get.
It's a good thing you guys didn't come with me. You would have been scared to death. What happened? Well, there I was, sitting in an apple tree. And then I heard terrible screams. And then the door of the house opened. And then there was a big puff of smoke.
Timmy, I want to talk to you in the house.
Yes, Mom. I'll tell you the rest tomorrow. The apple really did come from the orchard.
From the witch's orchard? Is that what you're going to tell me?
No.
Then why did you tell that to Willie and Flip?
Well, it's kind of fun scaring them.
Sit down a minute, Timmy. I want to talk to you. Do you know what the word habit means?
Not exactly.
Well, let me try to explain it. A habit is a pattern of behavior. You do something over and over again, and you form a habit.
You mean like doing my chores every morning?
Yes.
I understand.
Well, when you do your chores right, you're forming a good habit. But when you tell lies, you're forming a very bad habit. Now, I want you to understand me. This habit that you've developed of telling these whoppers, as you call them, has got to be broken. And right now. Or else I shall have to ask your father to take a hand in it, and you know what that means.
You know, Timmy, imagination is a wonderful thing when it's used in the right way. The way authors do in books. It can take you to another world, a world that exists only in somebody's mind.
Yes, sir. Like Robinson Crusoe.
Exactly. But when Daniel Defoe wrote Robinson Crusoe, he wasn't trying to hurt anybody, was he?
No, sir.
Now, suppose he'd used his imagination in another way and written a book saying that your friend Flip was a thief.
But Flip isn't.
No. And Mrs. Larson isn't a witch. And what's more, you and I know that there's no such thing as witches. That just came out of your imagination, didn't it?
Yes, sir.
Now, what would happen to your friend Flip if people went around saying that he was a thief just because they'd read it in a book?
I guess they wouldn't like him.
No. And they might even put him in jail, all because of somebody's imagination.
That'd be terrible.
Now, maybe people wouldn't believe that Mrs. Larson was a witch just because you said so. But after the story got handed down and folks added a little and changed it around a little, then people might start to think, well, there is something wrong with her after all. Imagination can do terrible things when it's not properly used, Timmy.
Gosh, Dad, I never thought of it that way. And she's really very nice. And she has 2 grandsons. And they're coming to see her this summer.
You mean you've talked to her?
Uh-huh. And she took me inside and she gave me a piece of green apple pie.
Was it good pie?
The best I ever tasted. That's what I said. Yours is the best, Mom.
All right, now, what's the answer about these whoppers you've been telling us?
I'm gonna cut them out.
You're going to what?
I'm gonna quit making them up.
That's a good decision, Timmy. Cut them out. I mean, stop making them up before somebody else gets hurt, huh?
Yes, sir. From now on.
Good. I think we've got time for one game of checkers before bed.
I'll get the board. Witches could hide in trees, if there were any witches.
In a big hurry?
It's Mrs. Larson's house. It's on fire.
Young man, I thought we had this out last night.
It's true, Dad.
Well, I can see that I didn't make a very big impression on you.
This isn't a Whopper, Dad. Honest it is. You've got to believe me.
Very well. Tonight we'll have to handle it in a different way.
Lassie, Mrs. Larson will burn to death. We've got to save her. Mrs. Larson! Mrs. Larson! Hello, Jenny. Give my mom, please. Timmy Martin.
Hello?
Mom, Mrs. Larson's house. It's on fire.
It is? Oh, well, then I'll call... Timmy, where are you now?
Mrs. Larson's.
Timmy Martin.
But, Mom, this is true. The house is full of smoke and fire.
Hello? Hello? Timmy? Jenny? Where did that call come from? Or the one I just got? Well, then ring the Larson farm then, will you? It's what? Off the hook? Oh. All right, thank you. Inside.
Mrs. Larson.
That's all right, dear. Dad's getting it.
You all right, boy? Look after her, Ruth.
Fire's out. You're a brave boy, son.
Thanks for getting Dad, girl.
Well, we'll take Mrs. Larson home with us until she's feeling better.
Yeah, until we can help her get her kitchen fixed.
Oh.
Well, you see, this young boy was tending his sheep. And he thought it'd be fun to scare his folks. So he rushed home and he shouted, "Wolf! Wolf!" Well, this worked fine for a time or two. And then one day, a wolf really did come. The boy rushed home. He shouted, "Wolf!" Nobody believed him. And the wolf killed all the sheep.
Gosh, that same thing almost happened to me. And it would have, if it hadn't have been for Lassie.
We'll always believe you from now on, Timmy.